Hello, I'm your host, George Guy, and this is The Pull-Up. Season 2 has begun. We're back at you. I want to thank everyone for pulling up with us during our last season. Our inaugural season actually was the first season we had, and we had a concept of pulling up, as I told you before. It started from pulling up at the gym and giving people notice that what I'm doing and things that we have to pass by when we're doing things that are crucial and important, not just our jobs, but the things that we do to prepare for our days. And that's where the pull-up started. And you all fell into that and always asking me, hey, I pulled up today. And no matter what you were doing, you say, I pulled up and I did this. So what we thought was, I was talking to James Scott of our Neutral Voices, and we thought that we would bring this concept to you so we can talk to extraordinary people that are just like me and you, but are doing, they're remarkable people doing extraordinary things. And so as asked and as you all demand, we make sure that we have folks like that pull up on us every day. So again, I want to thank you. But today, the pull up, I am honored to be here today to start our second season with none other than Miss Arnetta Scruggs. And let me tell you a little bit about Arnetta. Arnetta is a resident of Fort Wayne, born and raised here in the city of Fort Wayne in Indiana. She's a servant leader, but she is someone that is community raised, and she took her talents to Indianapolis. And she's done a lot of amazing things, a career of social work that spans over 20 years. Yes, I said social work. A lot of folks are not, that's not a career field that people are they don't talk about a lot, but that's how change happens in communities with social workers. So I'm very much interested in this interview today, but not just a social worker. She's also an entrepreneur. She saw something about, in terms of innovation, and dare I say that word when you're talking about social work. She created a program that has now been in existence since 2014, which is the Bloom Project. That's how I've come to know her. And it's called the Bloom Project, where she talks about these men and calls them intentionally young kings. And she's doing an extraordinary job of building that up. And I just want to congratulate her on her success. But today we're going to get a chance to get to know her and everything that she's done. And she's also a member, I got to say this, of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, yes. Right? The pink and green. And so much to her and so much to it. Arnetta, how are you today?
I am good. It's so good to see you.
Yes. And she's got that smile. It just radiates everything. So I'm glad to have you on today. How are things going? How are things with you?
Amazing. We are just keeping busy, 2 cities, working on a 3rd city. My goal is to be all over the United States. So that's my goal. I'm
not surprised by that at all. But so for the people that don't know, you're talking about the Bloom Project.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about that.
So Bloom Project is a mentoring program for young men. It started, it was named after my grandfather.
Okay.
It all started after watching the news and just seeing the negative publicity of young black males. And I said I could either post about it or I could do something about it. For me, I can post and do something about it at the same time. And so my cousin and I started the Bloom Project, and it started with just having an event called King's Feast, where they would dress in professional attire and they would network. I'm a big networker, right? And I have a lot of men that I know that are in different career fields, and I said, why not get all of them together and let them show wisdom and give wisdom to our young men.
Wow. And it's just like that.
And it's just like that. And then the Kings was like, okay, I love this event, but what happens in between that time? And so I'm like, well, I've never been a boy, never been a man, so y'all tell me what y'all need. And he said, I'll create the topics. I just need you to find the location. Got it. That's easy. And then he said, as long as there's basketball and there's food, we will come.
Wow.
And they come.
So now you have a curriculum-based program. And you have mentors in there.
Always looking for more.
Right. So where did it start, and how did I know, Fort Wayne, Indianapolis, which one started first?
So King's Feast started in Fort Wayne.
Okay.
Yeah. We started we had our first King's Feast in Indiana Tech. Bloom Project started in Indianapolis.
Okay. So they were 2 different things and you merged them together.
Yeah, it was just literally just King's Feast workshops.
Okay.
And then the workshops led to, why don't you start your own nonprofit organization? And I was like, I just want to create programs,
Right,
the
right.
social
Like
worker
a social
thing.
worker,
like a social worker,
Uh-huh.
right? I don't want to start no nonprofit organization. I don't want to do all the paperwork. And my consultant at the time, Rod Haywood, pulled me to the side because I had a physical agent.
Mm-hmm.
He pulled me to the side and basically said, "You're bigger than this organization." And I'm like, he said, you can fundraise, you got a gift of gab,
Right,
everything. Right. You need to start your own nonprofit, and I'm going to help you do it. And he did.
So I think that's something, we call this the pull-up moment, a team.
Yeah.
Now, you could have done this in a vacuum and say, hey, I'm going to continue to do these workshops and do whatever, but as you were doing just that simple thing, you built a team around you, and those folks pushed you. That's a pull-up, right? Because sometimes we have these ideas, and we keep them within us, and we don't have people around us that can then motivate us and push us to think even bigger than that. So now, as it stands, what is it right now?
So my team is always my family, right? So because Bloom is named after my grandfather, I didn't even start Bloom until I got their permission to use his name.
So Bloom, tell me about.
So Bloom is my grandfather. So my grandfather, I would say, basically raised me when I was younger. My parents were around, but I always was at my grandparents' house. Sure. Yeah. So I followed my grandpa. He taught me about what before it was called financial literacy. He taught me how to save money. He taught me how to coupon, all of those things. Okay. And so when I thought about what man do I want my kings to learn from, it was my grandfather. So I literally sat down with my family and asked, is it okay for me to use the name? And after that, now they invest in the organization. So when I say it's a family organization, it's a family organization. The foundation started with the family, right? And so everything that we do, from just supporting not just the kings, we support the parents, we support the siblings, we do family events together. We do service projects together as a family, so that a lot of even our mentors are transplant, which I mean, like, they're not from the city that we're in. And so we become their family. We go to baby showers, we go to weddings, we go to everything to let them know, like, they have created, the Bloom is their family now. Yeah. And
I like, it's your grandfather's name, but Bloom means so much. It means growth. It means it can, you're looking at
we
something
sowing
grow.
seeds.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow, this is, I'm now putting this together. This is amazing. So let's go back, because I happen to know how important family is to you. You mentioned that, and also community is to you. And I know this, the community you're from raised you in such a way in terms of, your purpose. Yeah. So tell us about growing up, young Arnetta. How did you become what you are? And let's start from the beginning.
This is a good question. So I actually wanted to be the next Oprah.
Okay.
So I used to have like a hairbrush, and I used to have an audience, and my cousins were my audience, and so I used to have a talk show in the backyard of my grandparents' house.
It's cool.
And we would do interviews together. Right. And so I always wanted to be that person that gave back. And so I didn't realize that it was social work that I was doing, right? And I'm really big on family. I used to have little family picnics, family little basket. Let's all go to the park and make sandwiches, and let's just have fun. I'm really just big on and it don't cost much to do, right? But it's just something that just being around people just gives me my energy. So,
and I want you to continue that story, but again, another pull-up moment. The dreaming, the imagination, seeing Oprah, right? First of all, visualizing Oprah, and then having the ability to dream, saying, I'm using that brush, and now you probably got your family sitting out. We're going to do this interview. I'm going to be Oprah. You got to listen. You got to see it, do it, believe it, and again, dream it, all these type of things, and you weren't afraid to dream. And I think that there's people out there, that's why we do the pull-up moment, because there's somebody out there right now, let it be a young girl, a young man, or young boy, who's out there that may not be in a circumstance that they feel like they can dream. But the power of that So y'all heard it. Hairbrush.
Yeah.
And family members sit down in a couple chairs, and we just gonna act this out. But I'm gonna be serious about it
and get ready.
And talk to me about
honestly, so Oprah went to Tennessee State. She didn't graduate from there. Well, I think now she has an honorary diploma, but she went to Tennessee State. So that was another reason why I ended up at Tennessee State. Right. Because I was following the steps.
So you were Oprah all day.
I was Oprah all day.
It wasn't even
I was
about
Oprah all day.
Yeah. So now you got into it. So now tell us about, you went to Tennessee State, but so you're here, you're in the community, you're having these picnics in the parks as a girl. So what was Arnetta like middle school, high school? How did that inform all this?
I was still the party girl.
Okay.
I used to have house parties, the safe ones.
Okay.
The house parties, every holiday there was a house party. Arnetta always had a party. Always had a good time.
Okay.
Always. I was definitely very social. I had to know. I was very popular.
Okay. Throughout the city.
Throughout the city.
Okay.
But it was just because I just needed to know what was going on. I was just social. I was a socialite.
Okay.
The positive way to put it. I was just a socialite.
Okay.
I didn't get in any trouble in school, but I had to be in the know. So like I was a school social worker. I mean, like I worked in social services at the school so I can, like
this is high school.
Help. Yeah, in high school.
So you worked in the social services department, if you will.
Yeah, because I needed to help people.
So what was your role? I'm just curious about this.
It's more,
There's all type of innovation around you.
It's so much. Some things I created. I would create.
Okay.
Spaces. Because I had all my credits, like my junior and senior year. So but I wanted to be in school because I didn't want to miss anything.
Wow. Okay.
I didn't want to miss anything. So I was in the guidance office. I would work there, make sure they had what they needed. When it was time for graduation, I would put all the diploma stuff together. Just different stuff so that I know what's going on. Kind of like a staff, just for free.
Wow. So what were you able to create when you were in school? What kind of programs or anything that you created?
So when I got to college, TSU had the Indiana Club.
Okay.
And I'm really big on service, right? And so what I wanted to make sure was it wasn't just an Indiana Club that we all just hang out. I was president for 2 years for the Indiana Club, and I went to their Y, me and my best friend, and I said, I want to tutor. I want our club to tutor. But I don't want just any kids. I want the kids that you're ready to kick out of school. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to change them.
Now, this is in Tennessee?
This is in Tennessee.
Nashville.
Yes, Nashville, Tennessee, right?
So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
You go to a HBCU. Oprah, you knew Oprah attended.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I do research.
Wow. Okay. So, you're at the time you're going to HBCU, and we talk about the things that you were able to do when you got there, but what made you want to go to this? I mean, I'm sure there are folks telling you, why go there? Why not stay in state?
Oh, yeah.
Do this, do that. Tell me about that part of you that's going to make this happen.
First of all, HBCUs were always the option.
Right.
There was nobody could tell me anything different.
And why is that?
Because I love my culture, right? I went to Village Middle School. We was none but blacks, right? I went to Harding, and then I went to Wayne. Wayne was my culture shock because it was a mix.
Okay.
But I was normally always around my people. And so I just knew we support each other. Sure. To be educated around other educated, and we're challenging each other that look like me, just makes sense. So I was a part of the Black College Club. Shout out to Mr. Howe. And we used to go everywhere, and we had so much fun, right? And so I always knew I was going to a black college. And then when I was trying to decide which black college to go to, I met Janet Reese. I already knew Janet Reese. She's my cousin. But she was like, where do you want to go to school? We was at the Y. And she said, where do you want to go to school? And I said, I'm thinking about going to Tennessee State. And her son, Walter, was on the football team at Tennessee State. And she said, well, that's where you're going. She said, he gonna be your big brother, and he gonna take care of you while you're there.
Wow.
And that's where you're going. If you want to go to Tennessee State, that's where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am.
And it happened.
And and everything. And when I got there, Walter was right there, and he told everybody, "This is my little sister," and he took care of me.
The village.
The village.
So now you're there.
Mm-hmm.
This person who had the hairbrush, did the Oprah thing, with dreaming and imaginating.
Mm-hmm.
Big time personality all through her, school years. Everybody knows who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You're connected. You're having house parties, positive house parties.
Mm-hmm.
But this personality, this person that wants to make things better, wants to do all these things. Now you land in this HBCU. Mm-hmm. Are you going to put that to rest, or is it coming to life now? Talk about it.
Oh, so it was kind of scary because he was an upperclassman, he was a football player. But then I got a radio show, so the Thicky Thick Girls.
Okay.
So I had the Thicky Thick Girls.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
But then that's when I also learned I didn't want to go into communications anymore.
So that's what you were about, communications.
Yeah. So I was I changed my major a couple of times, but my main major, it was communications. But I went up to this conference and they basically said, if you're not Oprah, you won't make Oprah money. And that kind of like deterred me, and I was just like, well, why do I want to be Oprah? Like, what makes me? And it was like, I love helping people.
Right.
And so I was like, well, if I ain't gonna make no money, I might as well go into what I love, which is social work.
Okay.
And you can as a consultant, and so that's what I'm doing now. But that's what I had to learn, is that you have to, the money will come, right? But you never want the money to be the reason of your happiness.
Okay.
Right? And so I was like, what do I love to do that I can do for free? And it's helping young people. I love my babies. Absolutely love my babies. And so that was, you know what? I need to change my major to social work. And that's where I've been ever since.
Ever since.
That's been my journey.
So while you had the radio show you're in, what did you do in Tennessee that set the pathway for you in terms of starting your career? What did you do there? Did you start programs? Were you involved? You said you're involved in the Y.
Oh,
right,
yeah.
Right.
So connected with the Y. We started the tutoring program, which tutoring turned into mentoring.
Okay.
Right. And that program lasted for the 2 years that I was still at TSU. And then even when I left, Vanderbilt picked it up. And they were actually they were transporting the kids to their campus. So instead of us going to their school, they were transporting them.
And let's go back. So when you went to the Y, you said, hey, look, I want to do what?
Yeah, I told them I wanted to start a tutoring program. I have college students looking to do some service.
Right.
And just trust me. And they didn't know me, right? But I was like, I know my heart. And I know that it's not that they're bad kids. They just need somebody to love them, right? So just give me a year, and I can prove to you that you need our program. And that's how I started. And I didn't realize that's what I was doing, but that's honestly where Bloom started.
So you were in college.
I was in college. Working
on what you're now doing now.
Yeah.
And I think that's important, a pull-up moment, because it's easy for people to think, oh, I'm going to go get a degree. So first of all, the pull-up, there's a couple pull-up moments. You go to college, this is what I want to do. I'll be like Oprah, I'm going to do communication. We're going to talk about the person in terms of that was at that seminar you was at and said you can't make Oprah money.
Yeah.
Let's put that to the side. But you didn't stop dreaming. You said now, because I would like to say you probably leveraged that passion into social work. So that's one. Second thing is, not only did you do that, you went and was assertive. Your instructors didn't tell you to do that. You went and said, I want to do something innovative here. Give me the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
And I'm going to challenge, you can challenge me, and I'm going to be accountable to my challenge to myself.
Yeah.
I'm going to change the trajectory of these young men.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it also has to deal with just confidence, right? So for me, I've always been motivated by people telling me what I can't do.
Okay.
right? So even before, while I was in high school, when I talked about going to a black college, I had teachers tell me I would never get a job. I had former best friends, because that's who they are. Former best friends say the exact same thing.
Wow.
Like, if you go to a black college, you won't get a job. So for me, it was also my motivation. I got to prove the world wrong, right? So I've always had that, probably too much of it now, but that's just where I am. Like, even, starting a all-male organization and being a woman, right? I get a lot of inboxes from people that's like, why is this woman running this organization? Or who do you think you are? Just different.
Let's jump into that. Let's jump right into that. Here you are, and we're probably skipping over some things, but I think this gets to it, though. This gets to it. Here you are.
Yeah.
This woman say, I want to do something for men. They hate, what people use, the proverbial word hate, can come from all different types of men and women.
Yeah.
How do you, what's up with that?
Yeah.
What's that all about, and how you deal with that?
Things like this is my therapy, honestly. But it's hard because people don't understand, right? But you also have to understand the politics of it, because now that I am I'm in a male dominated space.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's also understanding where people are coming from, and it's the social work part of me, right?
That's right.
Let me understand your background and why you think that way, right? And I'm not going anywhere. I'm not changing. And I love them. So either you jump on board, or you can go over there with the haters.
Right.
And
you're down with collaboration.
And I'm down with collaboration for the ones that want to collaborate.
Right.
Right.
Huh.
Yeah.
That is a courageous idea, to jump in and do something for men, and to be a woman, and knowing that you're going to take that on, and very passionate about it. Wow. And so I'm going to go back to the experience with the Y. So then you do this at the Y, and you said Vanderbilt picked it up.
Yep.
The same concept and program.
Concept, yeah.
Okay. Now, did you get any recognition for that? Did that happen? No. Because you're not into it.
I'm not in it for the recognition.
Right.
But just for me to know that another school picked it up, meant we're starting to see. We're growing.
Okay.
Right. So that's all I needed.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, you do that, graduate. Arnetta has the degree. She's like, man, I got to get out here and get it.
Yeah.
First job.
I had 3 jobs. I had 3 jobs.
At the same time?
Yeah. I had to. And because when I tell you, it went back to the past. I would not have a job when I graduated. So for me, I have to top everything that anybody ever said about me.
Okay.
It's
Talk
just
about it.
What's inside of me. So I had to have 3 so I can come back. Like, I seen that same teacher last year, and I wanted to say to him,
okay,
you see me now? Like, I wanted to say that, but I didn't. But it's just one of those, like, I remember when you said to me that I wouldn't make it,
Yeah.
You just remember that. So yeah.
What were the 3 jobs that you had?
So I worked at a domestic violence shelter.
Okay.
I worked at Fashion Bug, which is no longer. And then I worked at it was called, it was basically like a middle between the custodial parent and the non-custodial parent. And it was like a house, and I would transport the child from one parent to the next. Yeah. I can't even tell you the name, but yeah.
So how long did you work those 3 jobs?
For a long time, because I like money too.
Like nice things?
I like nice things.
Right.
I like vacations.
Like vacation?
I like vacations.
Right.
And I couldn't decide, like, do I like working with adults or do I love working with kids? And so I couldn't give it up.
Sure.
And then I ended up, the domestic violence shelter offered me a case management position where I could do like groups with the kids. So that helped. That I could.
So you were doing
both.
families. You were doing families.
Yeah, I was working with families.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That were in crisis.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Hardcore. That's hardcore social work.
That's hardcore. Yeah. And it was in a confidential location. So those were like I wouldn't say the worst of the worst, the DV, but it was, we need to get you away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So you're working, and then now that puts you in that situation where you're doing the Bloom Project. While you're working, you're doing that.
So that was all while I was in Nashville. I left Nashville because I wanted to get my master's in social work. That's when I moved to Indianapolis about 3 years after I graduated. With my bachelor's. And I was supposed to be back in Nashville, but I'm still in Indianapolis.
Living the dream.
Living the dream. So yeah, so Bloom started in Indianapolis.
Wow. And so now you're in Indianapolis. What were you doing in Indianapolis in terms of your career?
Still, I transferred to another domestic violence shelter.
Right. Okay.
And then I was working at a homeless shelter for youth.
Wow.
I couldn't give it up. I couldn't give both worlds.
Okay.
So
and you still like to travel too.
And I still love to travel. Right. So yeah, both worlds. So I was, and then I started to get my master's. While I was getting my master's, I did my practicum during the Super Bowl when it was in Indianapolis, and so I was an intern. So that was like a great experience for me as well. And while I was doing that, that's when everybody was like, "You need to start Bloom." And so my senior project, 100 pages, was Bloom Project. Not thinking I was gonna start not thinking I was starting a whole organization. God knew.
That's right.
You know, so I was put into a situation where I was let go from my position, and God just opened so many more doors for me. It was like one of those, like, I've been telling you to leave, but you had to be forced out,
right? Because
you wasn't listening. And then after that, just doors start opening, just everything, you know. And it's like, got it. I hear you. So everybody was like, "Are you mad?" No, I'm not. I don't need to be,
right?
Because God has always been protective of me.
Wow.
You know.
So you jump into this King's deal. We talked about that.
Yeah.
I want to push aside because there's people out there. Again, you've talked about innovation and social work and community work. We don't talk about that. There's so much here. But you're starting a business, though.
Yeah.
You got to be about business. What do you want to tell folks out there that want to start a business, particularly when it comes to dealing with people, human services? What were some of the lessons you had to learn, and how did you have to set up your business? Talk about that.
Yeah. So with Bloom Projects, we talked about it takes a team, right? And I had to understand, again, I'm not a boy, not a man, so a lot of my support system was my uncles, my cousins, feeding into me and telling me, you know, this is what these young men are going through. Even to this day, when I process things, I always process them with my boys. So I don't ever give people answers until I call one of them. That's just how I work.
Okay.
And so that's why Bloom is really youth-led. It's youth-led. Everything that I do. The Kings tell me what to do, and if it makes sense, I do it. I always tell them I'm really the coordinator of this, and you guys lead it.
Okay.
And so everything, if you want to start a business, understanding, I know you want to be a boss, right? But you need a team.
Right.
And now I'm going to be honest, it took a while for me to understand that because I still have issues with delegation, right? And I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, okay.
I just don't have the patience.
Okay. You like to get it done.
I like to get it done. And done right. Yes, right. And so, but now I have people that I work with that understand me and understand my heart.
Okay.
And so they've been with me for 10 plus years. Okay. And so they like, that's just Arnetta, you know, like, and so we keep that circle small because everybody not going to get it.
Wow.
They're just not going to get it. Or they're trying to figure out a way to make it benefit them. Right? And my baby's not a dollar sign. That's where I'm at.
Pull up moment. It's not about a dollar sign, right? You couldn't be focused on that. You had to be focused on setting this up the right way with the right type of people. And so some of you out there motivated by money, it's like one of those things, you know, what would you do for free, right?
What would you do for free?
And then it's not work. And setting
ministry.
That up. It's ministry work at that point. But now you got to set this up as an entity, though. And talk about the structure so people know that this is not just it is a grassroots organization, but it's actually set up as a business. Talk about what you have to go through to set up your business.
So, well, put it like this, Rod did a lot of it, right? Rod Haywood. He did a lot of it, and I just paid him. But
yeah, sure.
when you say like a lot of money comes out, it's like, so I didn't birth any kids, but it's basically 9 months of, like creating all of that, right? The structure, the paperwork, creating a mission, creating objectives, your vision, goals, a board.
How many people on your board?
Right now I have 6 on my board.
Okay.
To start a nonprofit, I believe you have to have 3. It was so many years ago. I think you have to have 3, but we have 6. We are also recruiting for board members. And just the team, just the staff. So I went through people, like, because some people, they don't want to work for free, right? And honestly, for me as an organization, it took me 5 years before I got my first grant. It took me 8 years before I became full-time. A lot of people nowadays want to start off their first year making how much ever much they want to make and expect a grant. And just understanding that part of they want to see your work before they grant you anything.
Right.
But, we're not in that, I guess, generation anymore where people, they just want it now.
Right.
So, yeah. So just understanding that.
So talk about your partnerships now. So you got to raise money.
Yeah.
You write grants, right?
Yes.
So obviously being around this long, you have some relationships. Why don't you shout out some of those sponsors that you have that helped make this happen? I think it's
yes. So our partners, Alpha Phi Alpha, are
because that's what we about.
Yes.
Oh, did I say that?
Yes.
Oldest in Dakotas. Yeah.
I would say Greek life has been amazing.
D9,
so the D9,
yep.
amazing. I can call on anyone, no matter, and they come through. My sisters, my sorority sisters, definitely come. They're very supportive. The Renaissance Y, they provide our our mentoring every first Saturday of the month, and then just honestly, and I don't want to miss anybody, but the community
itself.
So I'm real big on social media. Anyone that I contact, or I just say, you know what, we need to support our babies or support our youth and whatever they're doing. Just asking for $20 or asking for whatever we need. They're been very helpful.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the whole community, the whole Fort Wayne community, I have to give.
And in Indianapolis. So talk about. So now you got Fort Wayne, you got Indianapolis. Do you want to say what the third location is happening?
Yeah, we got to speak it into an existence.
Okay, let's go.
Yes.
Let's go.
So our goal is to be in Gary, Indiana by the end of this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
I got people. Gary, pull up right now. Pull up. Listen, come here.
Yeah.
Listen, did you hear? You see the passion? Mr. Arnetta, y'all gonna make it happen. Y'all know who you are, my people in Gary. You got to make this happen.
Yes,
we got it.
Yeah. So
is it already moving? You already moving it?
So every summer we take some of the boys, to go tour our kings to Gary. Okay. And so I tell them we've been dating. Okay. It's time now. We gotta get into a relationship.
Listen, she uses this metaphor a lot. This is how she get her mentors too. Let me tell you. So she's about dating. She's about dating. It's a metaphor, y'all, but she's about dating. She knows how to make it happen, so it's going to happen. So that's what's happening to Gary right now. We're going through the process.
We are. So this year, we're actually going to have an event where we just invite resources and the youth out. Okay. Because I'm really big on, I don't want to bring an organization to a city and the youth don't want it there. Sure. So they have to give us the green light because the adults have already, we want Bloom Project in Gary, but I haven't heard from the youth yet. Okay. And so we're going to sit down with them and have a conversation, especially with the boys, and see what issues they feel like that they're having in Gary, and then we'll move forward.
Wow. Good. All right. So you got folks that are out here right now. How can they support Bloom Project? Where they got to go to? Where's your social media? How can they donate? How can they do whatever?
Yes. So going to our website, www.bloomproject.org. You can. So we're in Fort Wayne. We're also in Indianapolis and Gary. I'm just gonna say it out. Put it out there. So any type of support, we have a donate button, but we're also looking for mentors. We're looking for staff. We're looking for partnerships. So if there is an opportunity that we can partner, we have a mental health program that we want to continue, but we have to have funding to continue it inside of the schools. So any way that we can partner working with young men, we would love to be to partner.
No doubt. So bloomproject.org. Where can they, because I heard you say this, because you said it, and I'm all about nationwide. I'm about being global with it.
We global.
So how would they contact you directly? Do you have any, are you on any social media handles they can follow you?
Yes.
So if they wanted you to come speak and talk about this concept?
Yeah, I love to travel.
Okay.
So I'll come wherever you need me to go. But I am on, Bloom Project and Arnetta Scruggs. We're all on Facebook, LinkedIn, X, and I'm missing one. Facebook, LinkedIn.
Okay. And
Instagram.
Yeah. So I think this is important because I'm going to say this because if we have her come out, social worker inside her, she's going to come out to do her thing. But business wise, if you're going to take the concept, it's like a franchise. You know what I mean? It's her idea. We want to make sure that, and I know a lot of you in the communities are out there. You're trying to figure out different programs. You heard it right here. I got friends nationwide. They listen to this. You're watching right now. Contact Arnetta. Don't make it too hard for yourself. There's a concept that's already working. Bring her out. This is how things get done. This is how business gets done. And yes, it's business of the people, and it's okay to say it's business.
Yes.
So, last words you want to talk about, what you want to lead the people with in regards to you as a person and also Bloom Project. What do you want to leave folks with?
Oh, me as a person, I am always open for conversation. Mm-hmm. I think some people say they can't read me. I don't know what that means, but I think it is. Let's just have a conversation and figure out how we can really work with you. If it has anything to do with working with young people, I absolutely love it. Okay. I love what I do. And if you're looking to, if you just need that motivation, because I want everybody to win. No doubt. I'm really big on that. I want everybody to win. And I'm a big networker. So if I don't know how to make that connection, I promise you I'll find out for you. That's my heart and my passion. I want everybody to win. Right.
Now, shout out your team, everybody.
So my team with Bloom Project, from Greg, I got to say him first, Anthony, Sajada, Jeff and Amanda, Sarah, Alex, who is my deputy director in Indianapolis. He's my go-to, my right hand, left hand. Terrence, I feel like I'm missing somebody, Michael and Deja, my assistant, sorry. Yeah, we do this work. We're a small and mighty team, but again, I appreciate every last one of you for sticking with me, being a part of my family, my Bloom family, and also just to my family. Thank you for supporting me and believing in Bloom Project.
No doubt. Well, Arnetta, I want to say thank you. I'm not going to be one of those men that hate on you. I think if you believe in something, even though it seems impossible because you may not be a man or a woman or whatever, if you have an idea, nobody else is doing it, that's a space. And I want to thank you for the work that you've done, for what I've seen in terms of these kings, as you call them, and how you're inspiring them and how you're bringing other folks to the table, being a convener of conversation, but focus on solutions. So let me say that to you. Don't let any of that get in the way. Keep doing you.
Thank you.
I love the passion with purpose. It's amazing. So thank you again for joining us and pulling up. Folks, as you can see, listen, this is what this is all about. You know what I mean? This is when passion meets purpose. And someone that is dear at heart in terms of her community, she cares about it, she's passionate about it. This is the way I want to start the season. This is what I want to do to inspire you that are out there right now. If you got an idea, the only way we're going to be able to fix these problems and develop our communities is that you have to believe in an idea that will work. But here's what else you got to do. You got to collaborate, right? It's important that we share. And it's also important that you just don't keep your ideas to yourself. You heard that by hearing Miss Arnetta talk about that today. So I'm going to leave you with 3 words, right, that I believe in. It's being intentional. And you heard us talk about that today. You heard Arnetta talked about her dreams when she had the hairbrush and she was doing that and she was following Oprah and she took all that to college. She was intentional, right? But also being collaborative. She talked about having a team and not being afraid to go to these places like the Y and talk about her dreams. That's collaboration. And you do all that so you can have a collective impact. Now, many of my friends know that's what I talk about. It's what's helped me to be right here, and I've watched others do it as well. And we can't be afraid to mention the word business when we talk about solving problems in our communities. Now, I want to thank you for pulling up. You know what we're about. You know what you're going to expect this season. So keep pulling up. And I also want to thank our friends at Our Neutral Voices because, again, collaboration is what made this happen. So thank you for pulling up with me, George Guy.